Sun! Yes! That's it! Just one more look over here! Solar flare!
俺たち双子の兄弟さ太陽圏
Solar flare!
Hey guys, this is Poohead189, and today we are going to discuss the solar flare technique, one of the most iconic and useful techniques in all of Dragon Ball. Now, I know I said I would release my Frieza Force video and a video giving an update on my channel first, but as a video on this technique is fairly small and I'm pretty busy, I decided to get this video out to give you guys something while you wait. So the solar flare, also called the Taioken in the original Japanese, which roughly translates to Fist of the Sun according to the Viz, is an extremely ubiquitous technique, with a lot of potential for utility. It's not an offensive technique, and not really even a defensive one, technically. It can be used in a variety of circumstances. As most of you likely know, the solar flare is a ki-based technique, where the user fans his or her fingers out to frame his or her face, and ignites a huge flash of light that temporarily blinds anyone who happens to be looking in their direction. Now, the solar flare was first introduced in chapter 124 of the original manga, and the 94th episode of the Dragon Ball anime, and it is first used by Ten Shinhan in the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. And it's actually hard to really decipher who made the technique. When initially shown, and we can thank friend of the channel Dave for translating this panel, Tien says it is a new Crane Hermit style technique, which leaves it ambiguous because it sort of implies the Crane Hermit made it, but then again, considering he added the new portion, and he is a student of the Crane School, it could have been created by Tien. And whenever it is utilized later, people always call it Tien's technique. So honestly, in my estimation, it's kind of a 50-50 chance of Tien or Tsuru Senin being the creator of it, but for the purposes of this video, I'll just say it's Tien, since that is what the characters tend to infer later on, whenever someone mentions it. Now, oddly enough, even though Ten Shinhan uses it twice in the 22nd tournament, and he is the creator of the move in my opinion, he never uses it again in the original manga, though it is utilized by Goku and Krillin multiple times, and of course Cell can use it too. I think if we include filler, then the technique is utilized the most by Krillin in the series, but I might need to recheck that. Although I will say, if we don't include filler, then Tien, Goku, Krillin, and Cell each use it twice in the series. Tien uses it twice in the 22nd tournament, Goku uses it once in the 23rd tournament and then once against Vegeta in the Saiyan Saga, Krillin uses it against Dodoria and Frieza, and Cell uses it in his imperfect and semi-perfect forms. Now, while it is a fairly straightforward technique, there are a few small things we need to note. Firstly, it seems you need a large light source, like the sun, in order to use it, because we never see anyone use it at night, and even during very dark fights like when Goku fought Yakon in the Buu Saga, Goku does not use it and instead goes Super Saiyan, and so it most likely needs the sun or something incredibly bright already to use, and that means the technique does not technically create the light, but instead just manipulates the light and redirects it, sort of like bouncing the sun's rays off of a mirror into someone's eyes. It's sort of hard to tell how it would affect someone if they keep their eyes closed while it's used on them, but we do know that sunglasses nullify the effects, as seen in the 22nd tournament when Tien uses it on Goku in the finals, and Goku steals Roshi's sunglasses to be immune to its effects. We also need to note that the anime makes it seem like it's multiple flashes of light, or at least it lasts longer than a brief moment, but it's hard to say in the manga. Either it does last more than a moment, so even someone who happens to be blinking can be affected, or closing one's eyes does not matter and you'll be under its effects anyway, even if you blink. The light, though it does no real damage, is obviously very uncomfortable, and usually stuns the target for a moment too. And we also need to note that whenever the technique is used, in both the anime and the manga, there is a loud noise that erupts as it is unleashed. In the manga, it's a loud crack, almost like a volcano or a bomb going off, so it's not just redirecting the light. Maybe the ki sort of clashes with the solar energy while it redirects. We don't know, and obviously Toriyama likely just added that for flavor. And I also need to note, going back on needing the sun for its use, I will say that some characters, like Semi-Perfect Cell, goes up to the sun and uses the sun at his back to make it a stronger flash of light. But of course, that's just anime filler, but I'm saying that the studio was thinking of that, and perhaps Toriyama was in the studio at the time and led that to occur. I don't know. Alright guys, I don't think there's too much more to say about it really. It's one of those techniques that's really timeless and cool, but we don't get a lot of explanation on it. Also, I want to thank you guys. I offhandedly mentioned my other channel in my latest video there at the end of my video on Chi-Chi, and a few of y'all went over and commented on it, and then the algorithm caught on it, and it went from 70 views to nearly 1,000 views. So thank you so much. If you guys want to contribute more to help me out, and aren't just fans of Dragon Ball but are big fans of Warhammer Fantasy like I am, I'll put a slightly older video in the description you guys can watch. I made lore videos on different Warhammer factions, and I love the dwarves, and I made a 40-minute long lore video on them if you're interested. But if not, it's cool. Okay everyone, I'll release my Frieza Force video and a channel update soon. See ya!